Okay, so the whole purpose of today's show here is to get everybody together and kind of do a little bit of resource sharing, some networking, and to talk about what you guys are experiencing as far as struggles on the campaign trail, aside
Okay.
from, of course, fundraising, which is a constant struggle, I feel like. We do have a special guest coming at some point. Her name's Natalie. She's fantastic and she's got a ton of things to share with you guys. So as soon as she gets in here, I will drop her in a box. But in the meantime, I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear where you are, where you're running, um, and what you think is the biggest change that you're going to be able to make in your communities. So I see you, Rodney. Hello. So
So,
I'm going to go ahead and, hey there, I'm going to go ahead and moving the mouse around like I'm on my computer, and that is not how this goes. We're going to expand this here so everybody can see who's on. And then we'll start right from the top. Rodney Lee, if you could tell us who you are, what you're running for, and where you're at, and what impact you feel like you can make on your community, that would be fantastic.
wonderful. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Great. Well, my name is Rodney Lee. I'm running for Tarrant County Justice of the Peace, Precinct 4. This is the White Settlement, River Oaks, Lake Worth, Saginaw, Azle, and a portion of North Side. The other question was asked, what impact can I make on our community? Well, number one, that the biggest thing for me is to provide accessibility to everyone and not just to those who are in the upper echelon of our financial economy here. Speaking about laborers, those persons who, if they come to my courtroom, would have to lose income, and so that's one of the biggest things that I want to try to do is bring accessibility to every single person that lives within that community.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Bernard, what about you? Oh, your mic's muted.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bernard Taylor. I'm running for Congress here in Florida Congressional District 21. The change I want to bring, the change I want to see is making sure we give the country back to the people, get people in Congress that are actually going to represent the people here out on the ground, living their everyday American life, just trying to get by and raise our families. And I feel like right now the leadership we have and the people we have in these spaces don't really look out for us. They have other people and other interests that they're looking out for, and it's part of the reason why we are in the situation that we are in right now.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Kenneth, you're up.
All right, guys. My name is Dr. Kenneth Morgan Aguilera. I'm running for Congress in Texas 12th Congressional District. And I hope the impact or value I hope to bring to this campaign or to this cycle is my experience and my value as an everyday working class person. I believe and feel that that's part of what we're missing in politics today is that we forgot about the people. And more or less, we need people that are running in this race that actually understands and that is in touch with the reality of the everyday working class family, whether male, female, single, or any other characterization. I bring the value of an experienced everyday working class person to the campaign trail and to the office.
Awesome. So the reason I wanted to get you guys together, especially Bernard and Kenneth, you guys are going to be hopefully working together very soon, right? Like you guys will be right next to each other in the halls of Congress, actually representing the people. So it's really important to get you guys on here, but also for Mr. Lee as well, because I feel like you guys need to have more exposure. I really don't feel like Black America is represented very well in Congress, and I wanted to give you guys the floor um, to help, that cause. So yeah. So let's start with a pretty simple question. What is your biggest challenge so far, aside from fundraising on the campaign trail?
Um, I would say for me, just my biggest challenge is finding enough time in the day between running a practice and then coming home in the evening time and finding the time to stop and do things for the campaign can be quite a challenge for me sometimes because I tend to run out of time in the day. And if you get sick on top of that, like I've spent the last week sick. And so once you're sick, you feel further behind in the process and you really don't have much time to give between family, working, and, running for office because running for office in itself is a full-time job, believe it or not. So time for me.
And I guess for me, I would have to say to dispel this myth that Tarrant County is a red county. I've actually seen the numbers. I've actually spoken to several persons who, for lack of better words, are smarter than I. We're already blue. It is mandatory that we show up to the polls. The problem is that yes, we're a blue county, but we're a red voting county. We've got to get to the point where now it becomes important enough that we show up to the polls. The reason why we have this toxic way of doing stuff, the reason why Tarrant County is going through the hiccups it's going through is because, quite honestly, if we just call it for what it is, we didn't vote. And because we didn't vote, we inherited this mess that we have. It's important that we go beyond the rhetoric and actually deal with the facts. The facts are we're already a blue county. Facts are if we vote, if everyone shows up, we win. It's that simple.
Say, biggest challenge really just trying to be everywhere all at once. Obviously, when you don't have the resources, it ain't like you can have a big team all over these different counties that I have to be in. My district covers 3 counties. So having to be like today, I had to be in 3 different places at once. Luckily, all the events were in one county and they weren't that far apart, so I was able to attend all the events I had to go to. But like for instance, upcoming rally on the 18th, like from 10 to 12, I have to be in Palm Beach County, and then from 12 to noon for the next rally in St. Lucie County, and then from 2:30 to 4:30, they got to go back down to Martin County to attend their rally. So it's literally 3 rallies in the matter of 6.5 hours. So being up and down the highway, trying to be at all these events and trying to show my face as much places as possible, because when you don't have the backing and when you're not seeking out those dollars that come with attachments, you got to outwork the dollars. So just being able to be out here among the people, talking with as many people as I can, trying to stretch yourself as far as you can with the resources that you have. It can be challenging. So far, I've been very good at managing and doing it. But as we start to get closer to, election season and more people start to pull on you, it's going to be imperative to have those people that I can trust around me to be able to send to those events as a satellite for myself. And that's even another thing. You got to find the right people that you can trust to represent you when you're not actually there, because again, nobody can represent you like you can represent yourself. And, depending on who that person is, they can actually mess you up as a candidate. So just those are a few things that are a little bit challenging, but we overcoming it right now.
And how many of you guys are working full-time jobs while you're campaigning? I know you are, Kenneth, but what about the rest of you guys?
So
Yeah, I'm working a full-time job. Yeah, but that's not a hindrance to me because I get the opportunity to speak with people, and so yeah, I'm working a full-time position.
yeah, it's different for me because being a fireman, my schedule is 1 day on and 3 days off. So I only work like 8 days a month. So I have a full-time job, but I still got 22 days out of the month to be able to do things that I need to do. So it's definitely different for me in my career profession because of the time I do have to be able to do this.
And do you guys have like volunteers that you are working with? Do you have campaign managers lined up yet?
So I have volunteers, and I don't have a campaign manager per se. I have a project manager, but I'm always soliciting for more volunteers. What we're currently seeking are young people because I need to really get the young people engaged. So if you're looking at me now, young people, I'm saying to you, we have a platform for you. The way we explain to anyone and everyone we speak to is if you have a willing heart, we have an open space. So there's nothing that you can't do without misrepresenting me. So if you have a heart to do something, call me, email me, and I guarantee you we have a space for you.
So it's just right now, just me and my campaign manager. I have a list of volunteers. I want to say between phone banking and canvassing, we're probably at about 160 volunteers. Right now, we're just waiting for that good old van access to make sure that we are able to use the voter information that we've gathered in order to start making phone calls and knocking those doors and things of that nature. We're already knocking doors, but I'll have the resources to strategically be able to knock doors and be able to map out volunteers to canvas to the right places to make sure people are registered to vote and to drive out our message. So we got some pretty good, solid infrastructure going on. I got a few people that are volunteered to be team leaders in different areas of the district. So it's all about just waiting for that access so that we are making sure we are FEC compliant, because we don't want to leave nothing chance. When the time comes, we don't want nothing to come around that we did anything that was not above board. So we just make sure everything is on the up and up before we hit the ground running.
Neil, do you want to tell everybody?
Ms. Bernard in Texas? I didn't hear.
Florida. I'm in Florida. I might as well be Texas. I'm just in tropical Texas.
Yeah. Neil, do you want to tell these fine gentlemen who you are and what you do?
Sure thing. Bernard and I already are mutuals here on TikTok. But to the other gentlemen, to the other brothers, Brother Rodney, Brother Kenneth, my name is Neil Carter. I am the principal of New View Consulting. We're the only disability and Black-led GC firm in the country. But I also happen to be, and Bernard's already heard this spiel, so Bernard, you already know, but for the first time, letting your other brothers know. So during the pandemic, I founded the first Black Vendor Member Association. I'm sure you're both familiar. You may or may not be familiar with the American Association of Political Consultants. During the pandemic, I founded the largest membership organization of Black vendors and consultants in the country, called the Black Consultant Group. So if you are looking to fill your kitchen cabinet, quote unquote, with Black vendors, you can check out our website at theblackconsultantgroup.com, or it might be .org. I can't remember. It's either one, either .com or .org. You can follow me and DM me, and we can get you plugged in with Black vendors that can assist with your campaign and fulfill all the services you need, whether it's opposition research, fundraising, field operations, whatever you need for any level of your campaign. I know you both are running for different levels of different offices, so I just want to be cognizant of that, and also cognizant of budgets as well. So
what kind of cost is involved with this, Neil?
It depends. So that's a great question. It depends. For congressional races, I mean, so let me understand your question. Are you asking how much does a vendor cost, or are you asking how much does it cost to get connected with the Black Consultant Group?
Correct. So to use your services, is there some kind of cost associated? And if so, how much?
Okay, so for my firm's services, it actually depends on the level of government that you're actually running for. And we can have a conversation separately about what your budget, what your campaign budget is, kind of what your service needs exactly are, because my firm may not be able to fill that need. However, there may be a member of the Black Consultant Group that can, whether it's opposition research, whether it's fundraising, whatever else. So I think part of the difficulty is when you have conversations with people who identify themselves as consultants, is there's this idea that consultants are disconnected and they're only out here to seek money, right? If you notice in my conversation, in my introduction, I don't talk about money, right? I don't talk about how much money it's going to cost. I don't talk about how much money that I'm bringing in, because that's not important. What's important is getting you all across the finish line. That's the most important thing.
I mean, I hear you. That is important. However, for many of us that are first-time candidates, as you know, A lot of times our phones are ringing and they're asking for money. And so
Yeah.
until a lot of us get to fundraising,
Sure.
the money is going to be a problem because most consultants say, however, we'll do this, but we need this much, And so I know it's not a caveat of what you're running on first, but we as candidates need to know that information because right away we can determine pretty quickly if you can actually help us, if you can't. Because if it's money, especially for us first-time candidates, we may not have raised it yet. And like myself, it's just me and my social media person. And so I don't have a staff yet. And I am raising funds, and funds are coming in fine at this point. However, you can raise funds today, and tomorrow and the next 2 weeks it can be slow. So once you start committing to a campaign or to a consultant, quote unquote, that's money that we have to pay out that we may or may not have unless you're working for free in the beginning.
Well,
that laugh. There we go.
Well, no, I'm laughing because I'm not laughing at the statement. I'm laughing at the honesty in your statement because it's true. There are consultants like myself, right, who consider the campaign budgets of first-time candidates. A lot of the first-time candidates that I work with and that I've worked with over the 20 plus years I've been in this work, that's the first thing I consider whether they're running for local office or federal office. We talk about the campaign budget, we talk about investment, and we talk about how much things are actually going to cost. Because you're right, that is important. But for me, to do GC work specifically, like usually a GC is usually for a federal race like you're running, for instance, right? Like there is oftentimes a GC is usually one of the first. If you are hiring a consultant, that's usually one of the first consultants that you hire, right? Not always, but oftentimes when you're running for federal office, whether it's first time or you're running for re-election, that's usually because usually a GC can kind of help you fill a lot of the other vendor buckets. Then you'll hire a campaign manager, fundraising director, finance, and all those other important tasks. But for me, one of the things that I consider when we are talking about building a campaign team and building it out for the long term, because that's what's important. It's really about Jess, I am sorry for taking on the conversation. I do apologize, but I saw
No need.
I want to make sure this important information gets out because there's a lot of there are a lot of bad consultants that give folks like myself a bad name that are only in it for the money. In my 30 plus years, almost all of my clients probably save for probably less than 2 or 3 because I'm in the business of maintaining relationships before, during, and after a campaign is over. Trust me to give me a positive recommendation to future clients. So with that being said, to answer your question about how much things are going to cost individually, it really comes down to for my firm services specifically, it really comes down to the campaigns. So for me, and kind of what my firm provides, right? We, for a campaign like any one of yours, we offer a range of services, but again, those services may not be perfect for not only where you're at in the campaign cycle, because it's still relatively early, and because correct me if I'm wrong, I know at least 2 of you are running for 2026. Rodney, are you on the ballot in 2025 or 2026? Just correct me.
I'm on the ballot for 2026.
Okay, all right. So you're all on the ballot next year. So y'all are building out your campaign teams. Jess already asked, are you finding volunteers? Are you identifying campaign staff? Like, these are important things, but more than anything else, as you already said, Kenneth, like raising money is frankly more important than bringing my firm on at this point. So one of the things we would do is as the founder of the Black Consultant Group, we have every Black owned firm that does grassroots and grass tops fundraising, right? So what that means is we can connect you to a fundraiser that we can connect you to our entire network of fundraisers, but we can also say, but I can also have a conversation with you and say, okay, based on your budget right now as a first-time candidate, what's going to actually fit your campaign structure so that you aren't getting in the red at the starting gate, because all of you are at the starting gate as far as your campaign is concerned. So I want to make sure that y'all aren't overspending particularly when it comes to a fundraiser. And on top of that, a lot of fundraisers, as I'm sure you all have already experienced, when you guys are getting these phone calls from particularly fundraising consultants and not just GCs, a lot of them ask for a percentage of what's raised on the top, right? Whether it's 5%, sometimes it's 15%. It usually depends on the firm. But these are things that I know. But these are things that I know as a consultant, right? That particularly consultants that have these kind of rates aren't going to tell you, because a lot of them, again, are in it for the wrong reasons. They are just in it for the money. They're not necessarily in it like I am. And it's, again, why my firm has a 98% win rate. It's why we work mostly with first-time candidates. It's why we are, again, mostly successful, because, again, we have that 98% win rate. I think Fast wants to hear it, but
did you say 98% win rate?
Yes, 98% win rate, yes.
So how did you get to that percentage of 98% win rate? I'd like to hear about that.
Because we don't necessarily cherry pick the campaigns that we work with, but when we are identifying campaigns that we want to work with for a long period of time, whether it's one cycle or multiple cycles, I want to make sure that it is a campaign that is going to be sustained, and the campaign that I can envision after talking to the campaign and after talking to the candidate that is going to actually get across the finish line at the end of the day, right? And not just get across the finish line, because when it comes to the work that I do specifically, I am more concerned with building and sustaining a relationship rather than saying, okay, we're here from this contract date to that contract date, and then we'll cut you off because the contract. So we'll cut you off.
A minute.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, if you have a pen, because the questions I have, I'd like to have offline here with you, because quite frankly, I do want, because our people, when I say our people, blacks, are populating my area extensively, but for me to actually win this race, it has to be a global approach for me.
Sure.
And being such, I have to be able to reach all dynamics, which means demographics rather, which means I have to reach my Hispanics, I have to reach my blacks and my whites, young people, so forth and so on. So that would be an extremely long conversation to see whether or not you fit. Secondly, I'm an octane type person. Everyone I bring onto my staff, if they can't at least match 90% of my energy, I don't need it. And I'm just really that blunt about it, because that type of energy to win this race. So if you got a pen, I want to go ahead and give you and let's talk at another time, if you will, and that way I can give you all my my email is rodneyleeforjop@gmail.com. That's simple. RODNEYLEEFORJOP@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you so we can really have a conversation.
Sure. I just followed. Bernard and I already follow each other already, so we're already familiar with each other. But Rodney, I just followed you. Kenneth, I just followed you. So please, Rodney, I did write your email down, but in the off chance that I made a mistake or something like that, please, I'm gonna DM you both after this, after this moment of conversation. But as far as authenticity and matching energy, and for all of you, right? Y'all know better than me, because I don't live in your districts. So one of the other things that consultants, in my opinion, do a terrible job of, no matter what service they provide, is they will try to convince you, on top of trying to steal money from you, what they will do is they will say, I know your district better than you. And the honest to God truth is, they don't. I almost cursed, but they don't. Just trying to save your platform. So
thank you.
And then for some non-Black consultants, they don't have a level of cultural competency that, you know, consultants in my experience have. That's not to say that I don't work well with that my firm doesn't work well with firms that are owned by non-Black people, because we do, right? We have tremendous relationships with firms that are not owned by Black folks. That said, though, kind of going back to Kenneth's question, I do want to finish my answer as far as Kenneth's question is concerned, because you did ask a very important question. You asked, you know, how do you get to that 98% win rate? Well, I've been doing this work, you know, as a GC for 20 plus years. And in that work, we take pride in the client roster that we have every election cycle, whether it's this year, 2025, next year, 2026. And in that, the candidates that we end up working with, again, I want to create it. They have their own path to, they have multiple paths to victory. I may have a path to victory, but again, I want to put them in a position to be successful, whether that's with me or not, right? Other consultants won't tell you that. They'll just say, well, we're not going to make money here, so bye. That doesn't work for me at all, and it's never worked for me. If there is another GC that I can put you in contact with that is going to put that is going to put you on the path to success, I'm going to do that. If there's an earned media firm that my firm has a relationship with, you know, to help you buy ads, you know, when you for your particular district that you're running in, what have you, I'm going to put you in contact with that earned media firm, right? If it's a tech tool, you know, Bernard, before I came on, you were talking about van access. If there is a more affordable data tool that can provide you at a better rate than van, because there are, you know, despite the fact that in Democratic politics we are told we're kind of entrenched because van has kind of cornered the market. We're told we have to buy van as Democrats. That's not true. There are multiple data tools and tech tools that y'all can win as it relates to field that can put you on a path to success. And I'm telling you this because A, number one, it's important, and B, because regardless of whether or not, you know, I'm not trying to sell myself while I'm up here. What my goal while I'm up here is trying to put all three of you in a position to be successful next year. That's my goal, whether it's with me or not. You know, the most important thing is y'all getting across the finish line and being successful. That's and again, that's what sets me apart as an individual, but also my firm apart from a lot of other GC firms out there. Whether or not you work with them, they will they will immediately cut you off, whatever the case may be. I don't believe in that. And I'll just leave it there as far as my answer. Kenneth, I don't know if that answers your question, but you know, for all three of you, you know, whatever I can do as an individual or my firm to connect you to firms that can help you, even if it's not with me, I want to put you all in a position of success, not a position of failure. So whatever I can do individually, besides cutting you a check, whatever I can do, use me as a resource, please.
Neil, what would you say would be your number one advice to our congressional candidates here who are facing people like Craig Goldman and Brian Mass, right? Who have like $1 million war chests?
I mean, I think both of you Bernard and Kenneth, are on the right track in terms of being successful right now by putting yourselves out there, right? Bernard, I was on, I didn't comment on your live earlier this morning, but you had a live where you had your picture next to your Republican opponent, and you had the AIPAC picture up. That is vital and important information, right? That a lot of people aren't paying attention to. So information like that you are actively sharing and you're actively talking to communicate, and I'm sure you're all doing that already. So that would be first. But more than anything else, particularly against Republican opponents, we know right now in this political climate, Republicans are anti-authenticity. And we, on the left side of the aisle, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a leftist, whether you're a democratic socialist, anarchist, whatever, if you identify to the left of center, then you know that more than anything else, authenticity wins. And I know from at least I can only speak to Bernard's content because I haven't interacted with you, Rodney, or Kenneth yet. But I know, but I know that, and we know that being raised as black men, that authenticity is hyper important to who we are as black men. So with that being said, sticking true to your stories of selves and being honest about the type of leader you are going to be when you are elected, when you have support from your constituency, that is the most important thing. And not resting on, well, when I get in, I'm going to talk to this lobbyist and that's going to change my view on things. Voters don't want to hear that. They want to hear authenticity. I can almost guarantee while y'all have been crisscrossing, your areas and knocking on doors, one of the things that I'm sure you've heard on a consistent basis, because for first-time candidates, I know this to be true, is far too often incumbents don't actually, far too often, and particularly the Republican incumbents that y'all are running against, are taking advantage of the fact that they have these amazing war chests. So they think all they have to do is, run ads in these districts, whether they are digital or earned, and that's going to win them the election. But y'all are knocking on doors, talking to people that are going to be voting in the Democratic primary, that are hopefully going to support you in the in the general election. And at the end of the day, I know for a fact because almost every first time candidate that I've ever worked with, the interactions are always the same in that when they are knocking on a door, probably 85% of the time, a voter will say, "This is the first time that someone who is running for X office has ever come to my door and knocked on my door. My congressman has never knocked on my door, has never interacted with me, never seen him. They never come to town halls." That level of the authenticity is going to set you apart. And I know y'all already know that. I don't have to tell you that. But I would say that would be my best piece of advice is to just remain authentic more than anything else.
Thank you, Neil.
You're welcome.
And thank you for coming up. Did you guys have any other questions for Neil?
Not at this time.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Y'all know how to find me. Jess, love you to death. Talk to you guys soon.
Thank you, sir. All right, guys. So we have a super awesome person who is with us today. Her name is Miss Real. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Miss Real, also known as Natalie James, former Democratic nominee
We're having kind of a hard time hearing you, Nat. Do you have a headset or something?
I'm registering people to vote, so I'm out at a festival right now. So can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
Perfect. So it's Natalie James, former Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate for 2022 cycle. I ran against John Bozeman, and I gave him hell on a very, very low budget, but he did some major damage. And the major thing is doing what we're doing now, spreading the word. I did a lot of things that most candidates didn't do, getting on social media, asking for help, hearing what the issues are and making those kitchen table topics right there and readily available in real time coming from the actual people's mouths. We also, the biggest thing is just making sure that we gave them a lot of run for their money and letting people know that normal people can run for office and be heard and make sure we're talking about the issues that are important to everyone, not just those that are super wealthy and everything else. So we made a major impact dent here in Arkansas, and we're hoping to continue to try to move Arkansas back blue. We're trying to get to purple and almost back to blue.
Amazing. So I know that you've been in Bernard's lives before. What kind of resources have you been able to share with him to help him on his journey?
Well, I was gifted by another candidate, Democratic candidate out of Tennessee, by Marquita Bradshaw, who ran also. I was gifted a wonderful list that had a bunch of different PACs, different labor unions, boards, and things that were really important that we normally don't get as a candidate to try and reach out to. Now, being updated, I'm seeing that right now it's not as updated. A lot of people have changed, but it also helps to be able to have a number or resource to go to and find out and make those connections, which is something we don't have because, like Bernard pointed out in his last life, we're going up against APAC money and large money that just automatically gives, and we actually have to go look around and find it. But it's not going to stop us, and we're going to continue to run because regardless of whether they have their war chest, we have our feet and we have a community, and we can make a bigger difference on talking to people face to face, doing just a TV ad saying this is why everybody else is bad, but not offering a solution.
Definitely. I think that's super cool. Rodney and Kenneth, you do not know Miss Real, but you guys definitely should. Do you have any questions for her?
Not right now, though.
No, not right now. I would just ask her to follow me, and maybe we could have discussions more specific to what's going on here.
So I stamped you guys contacting her,
Okay.
and I will leave it at that. You could take that if you can, brother. I stamped you contacting her.
Yeah,
You
my
have the stamp of approval, Nat.
Thank you. My goal is to help as many people as I can. I'm not running this year, but I do plan on running again in the future. And I know that if we continue to keep going at it, we're going to continue to wear them down because they're already wearing themselves down, getting triggered with each other, and having a lot of infighting. We just got to be able there to give people a solution and show them that there is hope and we can come in on this together at the end of this when it all comes through. So whatever, I don't even know what we're getting ready to come into, but it's going to be crazy.
So with that list you gave me, Rodney and Kenneth, it had I want to say 24 different organizational political action committees. I responded to I applied to all of them for endorsements, and I heard back from 5. I did interviews with 3, and I got 1 already, and possibly 2 more coming down the pipe. So if you need those endorsements and you're looking for like working class political action committees, if you reach out to her, if she's willing to share that list with you, it does help, man.
And legal conservation, and they're not just endorsements. A lot of these are coming with actual checks, a maxed out chance for the primary and for the general election. So that's $5,900 in your coffers to be able to help out and do some more damage. So make sure you're utilizing. I mean, and it's like 3 different cabs on there. So you got even the air pilots, black air pilots, and everything else on there. It's important that we utilize the little bit of resources we're allowed to have to the best of our ability and get out there and stomp that ground like I'm doing now. Reminding people, be ready for the primary and let's go ahead and vote. And this is why it's important because if it wasn't, they wouldn't be trying to redistrict us. If it wasn't important, they wouldn't be trying to silence us and shut down a whole government to keep from one person in Congress from being appointed. This is important and it's showing the power we have when we elect normal people, younger people that are going to do the work and speak for the will of the people.
But
I'll say this. Go
would
ahead.
ask, I would ask Ms. Will respectfully if you would just some kind of media information so I can speak with you.
Sure, I did go ahead and follow you, and I'll send you my cell phone so that way we can have a further conversation when I have a more quiet background.
Sure, I appreciate that.
Because it's kind of fun out here and loud, and That's another thing. When you're out and you're in these area in your area, go to these local festivals, talk to local people. It looks arduous, it looks like it's intimidating, but these people want to hear from you. These donors want to hear from you. They want to have that ask. I have one of my comms director. He gets on there and he tells people, "Look, I went to a party and he was talking to somebody. It wasn't his campaign, one of his host parties, but the guy was like, nobody from their campaign came and asked me anything if I'd like to donate to the campaign." And this guy was walking around with a $3,000 check, and he went home with it because nobody from that campaign asked him or talked to him. So go talk to these people. Always ask them for a cup of coffee or two, and you never know, you might get a whole bit.
Thank you.
I'll say this before we wind down here. Apply for that Track APAC Citizens Against APAC endorsement. Go to Track APAC. You can follow them anywhere. Go to their website. If you're going to commit to not taking money from APAC in that lobby, go apply for their endorsement. And if they feel you're a viable candidate and you get that endorsement, that seal of approval, that green stamp that you pledge to not take any money from APAC, the amount of money I've raised, there's some people doing that and saying, "Oh, don't want to hear no policy, don't care nothing about what I'm thinking about or what I'm trying to do for people." The age group 18 to 30, these Gen Zers, I was even out there in the event today. That is their number one concern when they're looking at who to vote for. Who is taking money from APAC?
You got to share that with me because I didn't even know that. And here, I was going to ask you too what hurdles that you've come across and which ones you've been able to break down. And that sounds like a great one you've been able to break down for us.
I got that endorsement and raised $11,000 in 1 week. Just from strictly having that seal of approval.
Are you doing call time too, or are you just doing this just small dollar donations?
Small dollar donations.
Wow. Wow.
So go to Track APAC, apply for that endorsement. Again, that's only if you're going to pledge that you're not going to take these people's money, and you have to stand on that. Because saying that you're not going to take their money, that's you're committing to be a grassroots candidate. And again, it is not hard. You got to be out here, standing here in the mud and out here knocking these doors and putting boots on the ground. So if you're going to do that, make that pledge that you're not going to accept that money, and you're going to be. I'm pretty sure whoever you're running against, Kenneth, they're probably being endorsed by APAC and probably got APAC.
Well, my Craig Goldman has taken money from APAC already, about almost $200,000. So what you're saying is go to APAC and register to not take their money?
No. Track APAC.
Track APAC.
Track APAC.
Yeah, I've been there. I didn't know you had to register for anything.
No, they have go to their website and they apply for their endorsement.
Okay.
I can't tell you how many times
literally
I've been
when I come to my live and just to tell you, just having that banner above me, it's
people
always
are like
done. Don't even care what I got to say. Don't even care what I got to say. That's the momentum that's the toxicity level that country has right now in the minds of the Gen Z and younger millennials. So they're really motivated to get these people out of office. And if they see you as a candidate that has been stamped and endorsed by Citizens Against APAC, that is going to give you that boost to your candidacy, and then that's going to give you that juxtaposition, you versus your candidate who's taking his money versus you who's pledging not to take that money. And I'm telling you, that's going to open a whole lot more doors for you and a whole lot more support for you.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've come into your lives, Bernard, and people are like, I don't care what your policies are. You're not taking APAC money and you got my vote. Like,
yeah, I'm talking about like full-fledged far-right MAGA people. It's like, I don't care, Democrat or not, you be the first one I vote for.
yep.
So,
Say that again, Bernard?
no, I'm saying like full-fledged far-right MAGA people come in there and just like, I don't care, brother, you committed not to taking that money, we with you.
It's so amazing. Weird. It's weird, but it's amazing at the same
You never
time.
know, every election, you just never know what's going to be the issue that people galvanize around. And I'm telling you, man, this issue is very big, especially for the younger generation.
Yep.
So if you're trying to get younger voters out there and trying to motivate younger voters, I'm telling you, be on the right side of that issue. Because if you're not, they gonna let you know.
Definitely.
So,
Hey,
So,
Bernard,
Nat,
I'm looking at their website, but I don't see a thing on there to apply for I see endorsements, and I see all the people down here who apply for
hold on.
endorsements.
Let me pull up my laptop. Let me pull up my laptop so I can show you exactly where to go. Cause what I initially did, I followed them on Twitter and I sent them a DM saying, "How do I get the endorsement?" And they sent me the.
I see you on there. Support Bernard Taylor.
And that's I'm telling you, you want to be on that website, brother. Let me see if I can find it.
I don't know if it's as applicable for you, Rodney, as it is for these guys running for Congress,
No,
but it might be.
anyone can get it. They don't matter what office you're running for. Anyone can get it.
Okay. I'll definitely listen to it.
Yeah, I think that that's definitely a really good feather to have in your cap, to when you're door knocking and you're out there getting endorsements from people, to let them know you don't plan to take that. Um, I think that people will respond positively to that because it's pretty toxic. So, Natalie, I was going to ask you, when you were running, what challenges did you have aside from fundraising that you were able to overcome or not?
Sorry, I wasn't in the quiet area.
No worries.
Everybody's coming to talk. And see, that's another thing. Once you run, you don't stop running. You're always running. You're running for the next cycle, because people are going to recognize you. You become a wealth of information. So you're out here advocating for the next cycle of candidates every single time. But
Fair.
what hurdles did I come across? The funding hurdles were the biggest thing, but once I got over that and got over talking with people, not talking with people, but meeting people and making sure I had flyers and they knew who I was, that helped out tremendously. Like, I had the luxury where a lot of fundraising was done for us because I was the first Black person ever to run, but now it's starting to be normal where it's normal active candidates. So they're getting into the $1 million range, $2 million range, which is phenomenal. We can make a bigger difference. But my biggest hurdle was people weren't ready, and people still aren't ready to Arkansas for women and a young woman at that.
Hey, Ken, you still there?
Yeah, I think I found it. It's a little questionnaire at the bottom which says you pledge to not accept.
No, so here, go back to so you go to where it says go to the top of the screen where it says more. You see up at the top of the screen where it says more.
Yeah.
You see where it says beat APAC.
Yes.
All right, scroll down to the left side. Do you see the reject APAC?
Okay. He says beat APAC. Yeah.
Where it says candidates.
I don't see that at the very bottom.
No. So it say, do you see where it says keys to success?
Okay, I'm going back. I see more. I see APAC, beat APAC.
So when you go to more, click APAC. You click that.
I see keys to success.
All right. On the left side of keys to success, do you see where it says reject APAC?
Yes.
All right. Do you see where it says candidates?
Yes.
Click the word candidate. And then that's how you apply. It should bring you straight to the application.
Yeah, it did.
All right.
Thank you.
So apply and see if they get back to you, brother. The only thing they can tell you is no. But again, as long as you make that pledge and they think you're a viable candidate, they'll get behind you, man.
Appreciate it.
That's what we're supposed to be doing in this live, right?
That's why we're doing this.
Same for you, Rodney. Just go through that same process, man, and see.
Now I'm gonna go sign my clients up too.
You got to. Like I said, that's probably the best endorsement to have in this upcoming election cycle.
Okay.
Yeah, because like my ERC endorsement, my political action women collective pack, those are big endorsements, but not all candidates can get that. So, and the women's rights pack too as well.
Yep, I just did. It says thank you for your signing up for APAC cash pledge. A copy of this response has been sent to your email.
There you go. Hope you hear something, brother.
Now, I mention in my lives all the time that I don't accept the money. I've had some of the lobbyists from pharmaceutical companies offer money, some of the bigger groups, and I flat out said no. I'd rather fund it out of my own pocketbook than have taken that money. And like I say, just last week, man, just a couple days ago, I was impressed because I went into Lenny's show, and bro, within an hour or two, they raised a little over $2,000, almost $3,000, in less than 2 hours. And it wasn't just talk. You know, some of the shows say they're gonna do this and do that. Lenny's show did it on the spot immediately.
Yeah, no, they had a big one. They had a big one for me too, man. Like I say, Lenny, good people. He up out of Central Florida, and if he tell you to come on the show so they can get you some things going, that's what they mean, man. And the same thing, if you ever see DJ and Real on here.
Yeah, I've seen DJ. I'm in DJ's group too.
Yeah, they did one for me as well, man. And it's about having those communities build those grassroots movements for us and going from there. So, just continue doing what you're doing, brother. Continue getting out here, trying to make noise, man. Be boots on the ground. Try to be seen as many places as possible. Like I say, my background is in public service. I ain't got no political background, and the momentum and the support that I'm getting in the community. Even at the events I was at today, you know, just people recognizing me from the videos that I've done on social media, and it's like there's one little kid, he's like 14 years old, just comes up crying, like, I follow you everywhere, man. Can I have a t-shirt? Like, I made my mom bring me out here so I can meet you, like, type deal, man. So it's definitely impacting the community when you're out here being yourself and you're out here touching grass and trying to have all these conversations, man. So,
So are you saying TRACK APAC?
So track, like running track, APAC, AIPAC.
I'm sending you the link, Rodney.
All right, send it to me. Yeah, please.
And send him the direct link to where he can go apply.
I'm doing it right now.
Amazing.
All right, Rodney, see.
Real.
All right, I'll look at that.
So, hey, Bernard, what's your success in getting other candidates? And I don't mean this in a negative way. Like, old boy down in Houston, like Isaiah. How do you get other candidates to collaborate with you? Because some of the, like, I collaborate with others, but people like, and I don't mean to call them like Isaiah, you don't get them to communicate with you. I mean, I hear them on TikTok live asking for money, but when you reach out to them and say, hey, let's get together, let's plan something, let's do something, you don't hear back from those people. And so those kind of individuals, I tend to turn off my phone to, you know, because if you can't reciprocate the help that you've gotten from others back to your fellow candidates, I'm not interested in talking with you. So for somebody like Isaiah, how do you get them to respond?
I mean, just to be 100% honest with you, man. I follow Isaiah. Isaiah ended up following back a couple weeks ago. He actually did let me come up on his live for a few minutes, just to introduce myself to his audience and things of that nature. I think as you build your platforms, you become more of a viable person. I mean, at the end of the day, again, you have a lot of people on here that have been doing this social media thing for a long time. So they look at your numbers and they look at your following group, and it's unfortunate that it is that way. But again, I'm always honest and transparent, man. I don't think if I had the numbers that I had, I would have been able to have that connection or even got that time on his live for those few minutes. But being that I do have such a huge following myself, it's beneficial to him as well to have me on to get to my audience. Because even though he does have a large audience, I also have a large audience. So it's more so of a, you know, we're helping each other out, which is much more applicable as opposed to, look at this guy, his audience isn't that big. What does it benefit me to bring him on?
Yeah.
Now, that's not my mentality. Just to tell you, I don't care who you are. If you want to come up, you can come up and have conversations. I'm just saying when you're dealing with, you know, other people, it's all it's different, man. Some people get into these spaces and they get to a certain level, and you know how it goes, man. In our community, sometimes we forget the community part. And
I try to help. I try to look out for others and help those, but I tend to remember those that forget you when they're running their races until they need you.
Absolutely, bro. That's why I say I try not to switch up, man. I try not to switch up. I stick to who I am, and I stick to what the same person I was back in April when I started this campaign. from zero to where I am now, I haven't changed. I've been the same, and I'm always willing to help anybody that wants to come up on the panel whenever I'm live. If you want to come say something to my audience, I try to shout out anybody I can. When people from other states do come into my lives, like if someone tells me they're in Texas, I say, hey, have you checked out Kenneth Morgan? He's over there running in District 12. You know, have you checked out my friend Jasmine over there in Oklahoma? She's running. So I'm always.
I followed you before today. I didn't realize you got a pretty nice size following. I got a decent size, but I ain't as big as that one yet.
Bro,
Not yet.
a lot of work. You'll get there, man. But like I said, man, it's all about building that community and that camaraderie. Again, because I've been where you are and I started from zero, I ain't been, 300,000, 200,000 followers in this political space for as long as some of these other people that have jumped into this race. So for me, I was like, we're all coming up together as opposed to other people where it's like, I've been here. Like, I'm not trying to really bring nobody up right now. I'm focused on what I have to do.
Yeah.
Again, everybody got to run the race the way they feel like they have to run it. I've just never been that type of person, man. I'm very community oriented, family oriented, and I'm one of those people that really believe that, rising tides lift all boats. So, you guys, Rodney, Kenneth, anytime you see me live, man, you guys are more than welcome in my spaces to make sure, you get your message out.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. If people don't know, they don't know, man. And if people in Texas, at least in District 12, or people up there in Rodney where you are, they don't even know that you're running. It makes it that much harder, man. It ain't like we can get ad time. I was talking with someone the other day, here in South Florida, to get 600 ads on TV during election time is $500,000. And that's just in South Florida. Like if I went up to like a rural part of Florida where the TV network is not as big, that's still $250,000 to get a 600 ad blitz on TV just to get visibility out there. I mean, we ain't got that kind of money as grassroots candidates, so we have to use platforms like this to be able to share our message and be able to get in front of these huge audiences that. Hopefully one day maybe we'll be able to have that type of backing as a grassroots candidate. But right now it's just ain't no way. I don't see myself getting to that point where I can spend $500,000 on some ads. So I got to take advantage of being out here on these streets and talking with people and using these live platforms to try to connect with as many people as possible. We gotta do what we can to take advantage of the situations that we can with the resources that we have. Like it's real saying that you don't need a lot of money if you're willing to put the work in.
Everybody do a little, so we all don't have to do a lot. You're exactly right.
We have plenty of examples of people who went up against the machine and won their races and didn't necessarily raise a whole lot of money. The problem is the people that get in these races that try to do the grassroots thing, they get in here and see the work that has to be done, and they realize that they just can't do it. Like you said, I got full-time job. Ken's working full-time. Rodney's working full-time. But all of our situations are different. Remember, like I said, I got 23 extra days that I don't have to work. Most people don't have 23 days out of the month that they don't have to work. They get a weekend off. That's 8 days a month where they don't have to go to their full-time job. I got 23 of them, so I'm able to do the grassroots groundwork to be at all these different community events and things of that nature. A lot of people aren't. So when you talk about working a full-time job and trying to be a grassroots candidate, it's damn near impossible. So
it's a lot. It's a lot to take on. I'm not gonna lie.
And like
they don't make it easy.
For that, so I appreciate it again.
You're welcome, Rodney. Like I say, man, you're more than welcome. Anytime I'm on here or you see me doing anything live, man, you're more than welcome to come up and give your spiel, man, in front of my audience so they can get to know who you are. Same thing, Kenneth. You're more than welcome to come in, man. Anytime you see me live, if you got a few minutes, you ain't got to be on camera, man. You just want to come in there real quick and introduce yourself to the audience. And anybody who's in Texas, any of your district, or even close by, I got family over there, man. You just never know who you gonna touch. Like I said, I still to this day, I'm still amazed that the people that say I was in your live. Had one dude actually watching my live and drove out to the event today to see me in person. He was like, "Hey man, you see me? That was the question I asked you about 20 minutes ago. Scroll up." I was like,
They did that to me. Yeah, they be like, scroll up, man. I get so many messages in that inbox. It's you get lost in them.
I'm looking like, bro, okay, so I'm scrolling up, and he said it quote for word too. I was like, oh, that is you, man. What's going on? You drove by. But again, man, we have to use this resource. This is a free resource for us to be able to get in our communities and touch as many lives as possible. That doesn't cost us the money that it costs. You know, even running ads on like Facebook and Instagram and things of that nature. Spending that money, I have found and I have heard that it's not really, it ain't like it's converting into fundraising dollars. You know, I had people spend like $500-600 for like a week long Facebook ad blitz, and he didn't even make the money back in fundraising that he spent on the ads. And when you make genuinely good content, you get more views and potentially more people to contribute to your campaign as opposed to paying for all these different ads.
That content is subjective, you know, because what I may view as good, the next one may not view as good.
That's the thing though. It's not for you. You need to make the content for the people that you're trying to attract, and that's the thing that I try to get people to understand. Like y'all see some of the things that I do, it works, and I tell people all the time, this ain't the music industry. You can copy what I do word for word if you want to. Like do exactly what I do, make the same type of video and post it to your accounts and see how it is.
Copy Isaiah Martin too.
Like, I'm not wrong in this. I'm not going to come to you and say, why you copying me? No, I'm giving the blueprint. Like if you see something I'm doing that's working, like use that because again, it's gonna expand your audience.
Okay.
So yeah, like you see a video of mine that went viral, make it applicable to your district and put your own flavor on it and try to do that. You know, if you see a topic that I'm talking about, whether it's affordable housing and if the same issues that I'm facing here in Florida, you're facing there as well as Texas with these corporate hedge funds and corporations coming in, buying up all the homes and pricing all of us out as single family homeowners. If that's the same issue y'all are facing in Texas, talk about it. Make a video.
So are you using have you started using the FEC's website yet for your quarterly reports?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, how are you? When I try to use their website, it's not user friendly.
No, my campaign manager handles all that, brother. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
You know, I was headed with it. On that.
Yeah, that was one of them things that she said she can take care of, and I said, thank Jesus.
Do you have somebody to do finance? Because in the PDF that I have, there should be some different political strategist groups and consulting groups that have somebody that can help you with your corporate finance. And you guys are 100% contribute. You're going to hear from a lot of groups that if you don't do 100%, sorry for cutting in because it's loud when I get a quiet moment to help out.
Good.
But when you raise 100,000, that's when larger PACs see that you're fundraisable, and then they start automatically donating. But I'm going to send you the PAC. It's going to also have consulting groups, Black consulting groups, different consulting groups to help you with your FEC report because they will try to flag you on that as well.
All right.
If you don't find on there, I got somebody.
Because that FEC website, it's supposed to be a free process in there. But when you're trying to report your earnings or what you're taking in and what you're spending, it's not user friendly.
No, hey, if you don't do nothing else, man, make sure if you can't got the time to figure that out, you find you somebody to figure that thing out, man. Because again, they quick to hit you with a fine.
Oh yeah, because they give you up to I think now it's up to 25,000 before you got to report it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they just changed the guidelines. But still, it can be frustrating to figure it out because they tell you can use this for free, but then when you download that software, nothing is in it.
Yeah, exactly. So yours is 25 because I didn't have to report anything until I raised $5,000.
Yeah,
once I got over 5,000.
They changed it. It's changed now because it was 5,000. Yeah, now it's up to like 20 or 25,000. You didn't have to do anything. I was just on a form 99, just saying, "Hey, I have not reached this dollar amount yet," and that was sufficient. Well, I've hit that dollar amount and more now. So come October 15th, I got to report again because it's quarterly.
So I think Ms. Real said she got somebody that can help you with it.
Okay.
Even if you got to spend a couple.
Ms. Real, can you follow me? Hit me up. I followed you, but it was a little hard to find you.
I follow you, and I will hit you up because it is important that you do it because they tried to deem me numerous times for it.
Okay.
So make sure you utilize them. I've trained a couple people on how to do it, and they can help you for a low dollar because a lot of these consulting firms charge a lot.
Yeah, I know. They asked me for $15,000, $20,000, and I thought they were funny. They were joking.
They were dead serious, brother.
Yeah, they weren't getting it from me.
They're serious. to fill out an Excel spreadsheet, man. They trying to tax people, man. So yeah, make sure you find
And your
somebody
left
that know how to
kidney.
do that. Same thing, Rodney. When it's time to make them reports, brother, you make sure you have somebody that know that form backwards and forwards, man.
Yeah, I
Because
got.
But what I will say though, Bernard, is that once you get going, I've noticed I don't have to ask money anymore now. It kind of just flows in. They just go in there automatically and it just starts rocking.
I thought that same thing. Don't think that. Always have a call to action, brother. Always have a call to action.
As a campaign manager, you
I
better
thought,
ask.
yeah, no, always have a call
Don't
to
be
action.
mad.
I got cussed out for that because my videos didn't have call to actions at the end, and I was like, I'm getting money coming in. It's like you ain't getting what you could be. You just having people watch your videos and then they going about their day. You better make sure at the end of every video you always say, if you like what you're hearing, would you please contribute $5 to the campaign to help us reach our goal and unseat whoever or however you want to spend it. But you better always make sure you got a call to action, man, because again,
Or at the beginning,
whenever it applies, man, because again,
in the
you
middle,
out here talking about.
preferably 3 times.
I was the same way, man. I was like, all right, we getting a few dollars in, we getting a few dollars in. I got cussed out. You better have call to action at the end of all your videos. I say, but it's doing good the way it is. We getting call to actions. I say, all right. He said, you better get over that trying not to asking people for money because
Campaigns ain't free.
yeah.
Well, when you're in office, that's what you do all the time too. So it doesn't
Yep.
end.
Because
You
I can
know?
tell you, I spend more money than I take in right now. Because literally, I spend a couple grand a month between paying for vans and the advertising and the different things that you need. It costs your websites. That stuff ain't cheap. And to send out your blast email to get your list of donors, that stuff from grassroots analytics, you're talking about up to $1,000 a month minimum.
Yeah, that MailChimp ain't no joke.
No.
Okay,
Yep.
like I said, I'll vote you for governor. That's my brother, man. I appreciate you in the live, and I get it. I know it ain't all about money, but when you see some of the stuff that we're going up against, like we gotta
Sure
have
seems
something to
that
start
way.
with, man. We gotta have something to start with. We ain't gotta have all the money in the world, but we still gotta have something to have a puncher's chance. It ain't like I can't do this with $0.
Yeah, 'cause I'm taking money out of my own household to pay for literature and brochures and cards and voter information and things to send out through the mail. I was telling Rodney last week, I sent out maybe 1,100 invitations in the mail so people knew that I was here. That 1,100 invitations, that was costly. It wasn't free.
Hey Charles, what's going on? How you doing, brother? Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like I'm starting to look into when I'm gonna start doing mailers and going to the post office and seeing how much that costs for mailers, and we just talk about like a 5-mile radius.
Yeah, that's costly. It cost me over $1,100 to notify about 1,000 or 2,000 houses, and that was just in a 1-mile radius.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You talking about I got a million people in this district and 600,000 eligible voters. Like
yeah, see, I got 755,000. So, and now they had a hearing yesterday on the redistricting in Texas. I don't know what happened yet because I haven't heard any updates. But it was a hearing yesterday for Texas.
well, we gotta see what happens, man. But my little one
Texas is
is running up
first.
and down the house is trying to get me to take him outside, so I'm gonna have to drop down. But if you guys got any questions, like I said, Rodney, Miss Real, Kenneth, y'all know how to reach me, man. Send me a DM if you ever see me live. Do not hesitate if you want to come up for a few minutes. Just invite yourself on. We'll have you come and introduce yourself to the audience and get your message out to as many people as possible, man.
Appreciate you, sir.
All right, you're welcome, man. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you, Bernard.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you guys are amazing. Thank you all so much for coming today. I think we're going to wrap it up. Do you guys have any other questions? Anything else you want to mention? I would love to do this again with you.
I think you need a live gist when we're talking about this government shutdown. That's a pretty big hot issue right now, and I haven't seen anybody doing any talks about it. I haven't even made a video yet, but it's a pretty big issue. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Refer to the government, the Republican shutdown. Because yeah.
Guys, I would like to put out there, and we're working on it now, the white settlement area here in my area. We're going to do a town hall where I'm inviting everybody, clergy, Republicans, Democrats, If you got blood running through your vein and you registered voter, I'm inviting you to come out and speak to me. As I said on one of the TikTok videos I did, I do not have an agenda, and that's purpose because I want to know what you want to talk about. And I want to share with you how choosing me would be the best interest to make sure that we can address your interest. So stay tuned. We'll be talking about why this office and why I matter to whatever it is you're trying to get accomplished.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys so much for coming up. And just to remind everybody here, Black candidates like this we're not represented fairly in our offices of government, and we need to be. So we need to be doing everything that we can to platform these guys and get as many people to support them as humanly possible so that our government looks more like the population of our country. It is super important. It's not a taboo issue. It's not about DEI or whatever people want to claim it is. It's about fair representation, and these guys definitely need to have a spot in our government. And I'm rooting for you guys. I'm your constituent, so I want y'all to win.
Yeah, appreciate that.
So yeah. So today what we did when we got you guys in touch with Neil, who's a marvelous consultant. He's going to be able to help you with any questions that you have. Miss Real is a fantastic resource for you. And you guys got together and did some networking, and that is so exciting. I'm so excited about that. And I can't wait to have you guys back to talk some more. So.
All right. Thank you, Jess. I'm getting out. Appreciate it,
Awesome.
Bernard.
I appreciate you guys. Everybody in the chat, please follow all of these guys. And on Monday, Rodney, it's you and me time. Monday at 6:30 Eastern, Rodney's going to come up and talk about his campaign, and you guys will have an opportunity to ask him questions. So please be sure to join us.
I'm gonna ask him the real hard question. I'm gonna have my little list
all
ready.
the hard ones.
Yeah, I got you, Mr. Lee.
I'll be ready for it.
All right, guys.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining It Takes a Village in the Village Hall. We appreciate all of y'all for joining us. Please follow, like, share. The playback of this video will be available on YouTube in the next couple of days, Spotify and Apple. And of course, if you have any questions, let me know. It has been fantastic spending this afternoon with y'all, and we'll be seeing y'all real soon. Okay. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.